Zev, the markets were explosive this week. I have to ask, what is the one piece of wisdom that Jim Cramer gave to you this week?
Number one thing, stay calm.
Yeah.
Don't let emotion get into it. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, but you take a step back, you realize the economy is still strong, the fundamentals are still intact.
Yeah.
And basically the companies that were good last week are just as good this week, they're just a little cheaper.
Yeah, you've been making some crazy calls on the market into the close. I'm just giving everybody a shout out. Just follow him on Twitter. But so what are you watching next week real quick?
So next week, as we've got a few companies reporting earnings. PepsiC is at the top of my mind. We're looking for a bounce back to 2% organic revenue growth. Earnings aside, though, the real thing I'm focused on is Wednesday's consumer price index. Because anyone who's been following the market knows the big theme now is are we seeing a return of inflation? Yeah. Is that causing pressure? Is that driving the yields up? So we'll get the CPI, which basically measures inflation from the perspective of the consumer.
Go figure, a CPI could sink the stock market next week.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah,
the funny thing is we've wanted inflation to come back. We want inflation to come back. We want the Fed to be able to raise rates. It's good for the financials. It shows that the economy is strong. The global economic expansion is intact.
You guys are still JP Morgan, right?
Yeah, we like JP Morgan a lot.
Yeah.
If it comes in any further, we're probably going to jump on them and increase our stake. They have that global presence, so it takes advantage of everything.
Keep kicking butt, hang in there, get some sleep, because it's been a crazy week. So you're probably wondering why I am decked out in Under Armour gear. I'm not doing it for promotional purposes. I got that. I have my new hover sneakers. Under Armour reports next week. And believe it or not, they may start to show a fundamental improvement in their business. We got a good note out of Jeffries. They're starting to make better shoes, better clothes, clean up their inventory, and go back to old school Under Armour. But by and large, the market has been pretty crazy this week. Volatile swings up and down. You think it's down, then it comes up. You think it's up, and then it just absolutely plunges. It's been a crazy week. Kathleen Chen, actually, speaking of Under Armour, are you ready for earnings next week?
I am.
What are you thinking? Are they going to actually show a little bit of sign of life or anything here? What's going on?
Not yet. I don't think Under Armour is going to show the results yet, but I think we're going to see the groundwork being laid.
And you're ready for overstock? Is this the week where they finally?
I hope so.
I mean, you broke that. I mean, that was your story that they're essentially up for sale.
Right. Well, my story was that there were, some overseas players looking at them, but hopefully, hopefully we'll get the scoop.
Well, I'm gonna give a quick shout on Pepsi. Like Zev was saying, Procter & Gamble had a terrible quarter. I'm a little worried how Pepsi comes out. Just saying, moving right along. Let's give a shout out, Scott. You've had a week full of really big, giant guests. Talking about the markets. What do you got? What's happening?
Yeah, well, I spoke to John Legere, CEO of T-Mobile. A lot of telecom companies have been and are trying to make content acquisitions. John Legere, a little skeptical of that. He's not ruling out a content acquisition, but he's watching it. Watch the interview, click the link on our YouTube page.
Hey, John Legere, I got to give you a shout out. I appreciate all of your tweets of all the TheStreet.com work. I appreciate the love. Keep reading us, and more importantly, come back on and talk to Scott. That's really good. Kinsey, Kinsey's basically at her desk from Monday to Friday. She's not gotten up. What is up?
Trying to keep everybody informed of these crazy swings here on Wall Street. Just finishing up my week in review. You should be on the lookout for that later today. We've got a whole roundup of all the crazy things that happen. Also working on my column for the weekend, the dumbest thing on Wall Street for Saturday morning.
Well, what is it? Tease it out a little bit.
I don't want to tell too much, but if you're still looking for a Valentine's Day gift for your somebody special, read the column Saturday morning.
Oh, that was good. Wait, so before I leave you, Bitcoin. Is it dead?
It's
Is it going to zero, like Goldman said?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't want to get to prognosticating over here, but it's not good. You got to read Bitcoin today.
Look at this. You're still writing stories. It's Friday. Go home, get some food. So here's the real money team. I got to ask. This has been a big week for them. Who's going to step up, guys? Who's going to step up and talk about the markets? Welcome to the camera. It's been a crazy week.
Absolutely. Well, it's Jerry Cronenberg, the managing editor of TheStreet and our premium sites here. We're getting ready to do a live blog at 4 o'clock. We've been doing that all this week with some of our top columnists to tell people what to do and how to prepare for next week.
What do the charts say, Jerry?
The charts say, well, according to our chartist, Bruce Kamish, this is a 3-week event, and this is not run for the hills, bar the doors, Katie. This will be 3 weeks max, and this is 1 week down, and after that we're ready to go. Let's ask Peter, Peter Wilson, our assistant managing editor, what he thinks.
Look for some ETF coverage next week from a
ETF?
number of our columnists.
Special
Yes.
edition exclusive. I mean, this stuff has
edition.
been blowing up like crazy.
It has been. So we'll look into that and look
I mean, you
into
buy these
some
ETFs? Are we
picks.
just done selling? Is this all over? Is the market bottoming?
I think we're.
Give the call. Come on.
I think we're in for some more
Oh,
volatility.
all right, there we go. All right, so all right, the whole weekend being depressed. Anders, we're gonna finish with you. Complete. What do you got? One thing you're watching next week.
Next week, we're going to keep watching volatility.
That's very good. And I'll add in for Anders. Anders has done some great work in oil. Oil has had a terrible week, very much short-term bearish. That's all I got for you. I have completely had enough of covering these markets. It's been a wild week on Wall Street, up, down, sideways. I don't know if the bottom is, and frankly, I really don't care, but it's been very fun to cover. Go to TheStreet, check out Morning Jolt on the website. Great web show. We've been doing really well. Actually making some phenomenal calls on there, even though we're not supposed to be picking stocks. That's all I got for you. Have a great weekend.